We awoke from one nightmare into another. Not on our dying Earth, but somewhere much worse.
All clear. Come on, move! Chris? What the hell?
Take him away.
Welcome to Mac's channel. In this video, we want to review 10 of the best-selling games of 2021. Please stay with us until the end of the video. Number 9, Outriders.
We awoke changed. The anomaly unleashed within us. Burning with power. Impossible power.
Outriders is a third-person shooter mixed with elements from role-playing games. In the beginning of the game, players create their custom characters and choose from 4 classes, each of them with unique abilities that the players can use. The 4 classes include the Trickster, which has the ability to manipulate time, the Pyromancer, which can manipulate fire, the Devastator, which can unleash seismic attacks, and the Technomancer, which uses turrets and other devices. These special skills have a short cooldown time and can be combined with other skills for maximum effects. The game features a skill tree that allows players to unlock and upgrade their skills. Players can use different weapons such as shotguns and assault rifles to defeat enemies, and firearms can be customized with weapon mods. Players can hide behind cover to shield themselves from enemy attacks, though health will only regenerate if the player manages to hurt or kill enemies. Players combat both monsters and human enemies. As the player progresses, the world level, the game's equivalent to gameplay difficulty, will increase. If the world level is high, it is more likely for the player to get high-end loot from defeated enemies. Players can equip armors that offer protection against incoming damage, with each class having their own unique armor sets to collect. Number 8, Ratchet & Clank: Rift Apart.
You alright back there? No way.
It appears that the dimensions are collapsing on one another. If we cannot get to...
Right, the ship. I mean, we can't be that far.
I have it in my sights.
They have found us, Ratchet.
How do I steer this thing?
The game shares many gameplay similarities with Ratchet & Clank 2016, and other entries in the series. It retains elements of previous Ratchet & Clank games, such as strafing, gunplay, collection of bolts, automatic weapon and health upgrades, manual raritanium weapon upgrading and gadgets. The main playable character is Ratchet. He is accompanied by his robotic friend and sidekick Clank, who is hung on his back. Additionally, the game has a playable female Lombax named Rivet. The player navigates Ratchet and Rivet through diverse environments across a multitude of levels, defeating enemies with an array of varied weapons and gadgets, and traversing obstacles to complete key mission objectives. The game introduces to the series the concept of real-time near-instantaneous travel between different areas, planets and other worlds within gameplay scenes via a system of interdimensional portals. In order for the player to utilize this feature, a new mechanic dubbed the Rift Tether is introduced in Ratchet and Rivet's arsenal that pulls them from one side of a portal to another, allowing them to move quickly between points. The game features the return of planets explored in previous entries with a dimensional twist through their alternate counterparts, alongside new planets not seen previously in the franchise. The game features enhanced mobility and traversal options with the addition of moves such as dashing and wall running. In addition, the game's arsenal features a mix of brand new weapons and returning classics from prior installments. Number 7, Deathloop.
Hello, Black Marine. Combs, my predecessor, has been pronounced guilty of treason. He is to be shot on sight henceforth in perpetuity. Your sentence is appreciated and is mandatory. The real party doesn't start until he's dead.
In Deathloop, the player takes on the role of Colt, an assassin stuck in a time loop who has been tasked to take out 8 targets called visionaries across the island before midnight. His leaving even one alive will cause the time loop to reset and undo his work. Further, should Colt die before taking out the 8 targets, he will wake back up at the start of the loop. The player uses a combination of stealth, parkour, attack skills, guns, gadgets, and powers as in Arcane's previous Dishonored and Prey games to move about the game world. They must avoid or take out guards, learn the patterns of Colt's targets, and to figure out the right order to eliminate said targets using guns, melee attacks, or other environmental means. Number 6, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is a compilation of the video games in the Mass Effect trilogy, Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3. It was developed by BioWare and published by Electronic Arts. All 3 games were remastered, with visual enhancements, technical improvements, and gameplay adjustments. Mass Effect, the first game of the trilogy, received more extensive upgrades than its counterparts, specifically with regard to graphics, combat mechanics, vehicle handling, and loading times. Number 5, Returnal.
Crash. Attack. My death.
Returnal is a third-person shooter video game featuring roguelike elements and covering the psychological horror genre. Set in a futuristic science fiction setting, the player controls Celine, Jane Perry, a space pilot, equipped with a suit and armed with high-tech weapons, who is stranded on the alien planet Atropos, and stuck in a time loop. After every death, Celine is resurrected, following a pattern of traversing across foreign environments and combating extraterrestrial entities with growing visions in an ever-changing world. Number 4, Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5 is a racing video game set in an open-world environment based in a fictional representation of Mexico. The game has the largest map in the entire Forza Horizon series, being 50% larger than Forza Horizon 4 while also having the highest point in the Horizon series. The map was described by creative director Mike Brown as one of the most diverse Forza Horizon maps the team has built. The map contains an active caldera volcano, jungles and beaches, ancient Mayan temples, and towns and cities such as Guanajuato. Players can explore the open world freely, though they can also compete in multiplayer races and complete the campaign mode. Both the cars featured in the game and the player character can be extensively customized. Players are able to create custom liveries and tunes for cars, and perform engine swaps, drivetrain swaps, or install body kits on certain vehicles. The game is the first in the franchise to support ray tracing on cars, although this is only available in Forza Vista. Number 3, Far Cry 6.
Fuerzas ultrapenetrantes, estamos cansados de los farsantes.
It's beautiful here. Perfect. But useless. I have something for you. Give me eyes.
Similar to the previous entries in the series, Far Cry 6 is an action-adventure first-person shooter game set in an open-world environment which the player can navigate on foot or via using various land, water, and air vehicles. The world is divided into 7 main regions with an array of terrain, ranging from urban areas and dense jungles, to mountain ranges and open oceans. Gameplay focuses on armed and close-quarters combat. Players are able to use a wide array of conventional weapons, such as sidearms, assault rifles, submachine guns, shotguns, light machine guns, sniper rifles and grenade launchers. Firearms can be customized using materials found throughout the world. In a new addition to the series, the game features several prototypes of special weaponry, called resolver weapons, each offering a certain perk to the player's loadout, for example a silent close-range nailgun or a slingshot projectile weapon which fires CDs. Another new addition is the Supremo backpack, allowing augmentation of the playstyle by assigning more perks to the player's loadout, such as firing homing missiles or seeing enemies through solid objects. Unlike the previous titles in the series, players are able to holster weapons. As a result, enemy NPCs will not attack the player on sight, unless within restricted areas. Number 2, Hitman 3.
All because of one man. As you take on the role of Agent 47, his deadly abilities, tools, and instincts are at your fingertips. You get to travel the world and kill interesting people. And with complete freedom of approach, making the how, the when, and the where all up to you.
Like its predecessors, Hitman 3 is a stealth game played from a third-person perspective, and players once again assume control of Assassin Agent 47. In the game, 47 travels to various locations and carries out contracted assassinations, continuing the story of the last two games. The base game features 6 new locations: Dubai, Dartmoor, Berlin, Chongqing, Mendoza, and an epilogue set in the Carpathian Mountains, Romania. Owners of Hitman or Hitman 2 are able to import maps, levels and their progress into Hitman 3. The new locations in Hitman 3 include persistent shortcuts, a new gameplay feature to the series. Each stage includes several initially locked doors which can only be unlocked from one side. Once unlocked, these doors stay open in all future playthroughs, allowing initially closed-off locations to be reached more quickly. Number 1, Resident Evil Village.
Mia.
Quit being so paranoid.
Like its predecessor, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Resident Evil Village uses a first-person perspective. It is set in a snowy, explorable Eastern European village, described as pulled straight from the Victorian era, and much larger and immersive than its predecessor. Structures and buildings in the central village can be climbed and used to fight enemies. Compared to Biohazard, the game is more action-focused, with protagonist Ethan Winters now equipped with more combat skills due to military training. The game's primary enemies, the werewolf-like Lycans, are not only agile and intelligent but can wield weapons and attack in packs, forcing the player to rethink their strategy on whether to utilize sparse ammunition, use melee combat, or simply run away. Similar to Resident Evil 4, makeshift barricades can be used to fend off enemies. The inventory management mechanic is similar to that of Resident Evil 4, featuring a briefcase and the ability to move and rotate items for better storage space. Players can buy supplies, weapons, upgrades, and items from a merchant called the Duke. The players can also hunt animals in the village and have them cooked into dishes by the Duke. Eating side dishes allows the player to gain certain advantages, such as decreasing the damage taken while blocking. Treasures and collectibles can be found around the village, and sold to the Duke for currency.